the regular meeting for the Ottawa City Commission for October 7th, 2020. We will read a disclosure at the beginning of this meeting because meeting in person is not an option right now. And so I believe that Interim City Clerk Misty Kemps will be reading that disclosure. Misty?
This is Acting City Clerk Misty Kemps speaking, and I will be providing information for remote access to tonight's meeting, as well as procedural guidelines that will be followed for this meeting. Due to efforts to mitigate the spread of COVID-19, physical access to the City Commission meeting will be restricted. In accordance with Kansas Open Meetings Act, COMA, the meeting can be viewed live on Channel 23 and via Facebook Live or listened to by dialing 1-312-626-6799 and entering meeting ID 919-6273-3505#. Please note, participants who generate unwanted or distracting noises may be muted by the meeting host. If this happens, please unmute yourself when you wish to speak. Guidelines for this meeting are as follows. Each member of the public, staff, or presenter is required to state the individual's name and title, if any, each time the individual begins speaking or voting, so that the individual can be identified by remote listeners or observers. Citizens that submitted comments by 4 p.m. today to public comments at ottawaks.gov were given to the City Commission to be read during public comments or during discussion on an agenda item. The Commission must describe at the beginning of the meeting the process that will be used for a closed or executive meeting pursuant to KSA 75-4319 and amendments thereto. Mayor Pro Tem Kaler, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm going to do it 100 times. Thank you, Misty. We appreciate you reading that. My name is Sarah Kaler, and we are going to call a meeting to order. I would ask Acting City Clerk Misty Kemps to please call the roll.
This is Acting City Clerk Misty Kemps. Mayor Wygand. Mayor Pro Tem Kaler.
Present.
Commissioner Crowley. Commissioner Skidmore. Commissioner Jorgensen.
Present.
Well, unfortunately, we do not have a quorum tonight, and I'm not really sure if we want to just hold on for a minute to hear about that, but let's just do that. Let's pause for a couple minutes and see if one of our commissioners might be joining us. We were aware that one would be gone, but weren't quite aware that others. So we're going to pause in the meeting for just a second and see if we might not have another commission that joins us. City Manager Neinstedt, is there a way that you'd like to proceed? Oh, there we go. I think we want to relook at the roll call because I believe we had a commission that joined us. Commissioner Crowley, are you present?
I am. I do apologize.
Thank you. Would you like me to call that roll again or just mark him as present?
City Manager Neinstedt, do you anticipate that we would have additional commissioners that will be joining us, or would you like us to proceed with the roll call as it is?
I would proceed with the roll call as it is. I have not heard from Commissioner Skidmore yet. If I do, I will let you know.
Great. Okay, so certainly you can call the roll call again if you want. We'll make it official since we have 3 commissioners.
Okay. Mayor Wygan, Mayor Pro Tem Kaler,
Present.
Commissioner Crowley,
Present.
Commissioner Skidmore, Commissioner Jorgensen.
Present.
Well, great. We are light on commissioners tonight, but we do have a quorum now, and we are going to proceed. I want to welcome those that are present and a part of the process here. We begin every meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation, which traditionally would be led by, at least Commissioner Skidmore had agreed to lead the invocation. Commissioner Jorgensen, would you like to lead this evening?
I'd be glad to.
Perfect, thank you. So if we could all rise, I believe that our IT department will bring up a flag for us. Perfect, thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if we could please bow our heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for this chance to meet and decide business for the city of Ottawa. We are truly unworthy for the blessings that you bestowed upon us. We ask for your strength and wisdom in making decisions this evening. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Jorgensen. We appreciate you doing that. That moves us on to the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from the August 17th, 2020 study session and the August 19th regular meeting minutes. I would entertain a motion if there is one.
Commissioner Crowley will make that motion.
Commissioner Crowley
Second.
makes the motion. And
Commissioner Jorgensen, second.
Jorgensen seconds. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Great. Commissioner Kaler still speaking. I didn't say that before. That moves us on to the regular agenda, which this part of our agenda is where we allow the public to come in and have a comment period if they want to address the commission. Acting City Clerk Kims, do we have anybody who has registered for public comments?
We do not.
Okay, great. We want the public to know that we certainly welcome public comment, and we would just ask that you let us know ahead of time so that we make sure that we can yield to you and give you an opportunity to address the City Commission at either our regular meeting or our study session, because this is actually your meeting. And so we want you to have that capability to do so. So that moves us on to declaration. At this time, I'd like to give commissioners a chance to declare any conflict or communication that they've had that might influence their ability to consider today's issues impartially. Commissioners, do you have a declaration to make? Seeing none, we will proceed. On to new business.
This is Acting City Clerk Misty Kemp speaking. Proclamation recognizing, honoring our mission to serve Veterans Day on October 9th, 2020.
The new, this proclamation honors National President Sandra, and I'm gonna get it wrong, Donna, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to tell me that, visit to Ottawa and all the members of the VFW Auxiliary for their outstanding service. Donna Dorez, I'm gonna get it wrong all tonight, sorry.
That's okay.
Chair of the Department of the Kansas Auxiliary Historian, Media Relations will accept the proclamation.
Yes,
Donna, please tell me how your national president, how to say her last name.
on sweater.
On sweater. All right. Got it. Commissioner Crowley, do you have that proclamation to read?
I do.
Great. Commissioner Crowley is going to read that for you tonight.
And the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the Veterans of Foreign Wars Auxiliary is conducting its 106th year of volunteer service to America. And whereas year after year, the organization continues to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by maintaining memorials to their service and sharing their history with our nation's youth, so that what our nation's veterans have done. Am I reading the right one?
I believe if you pulled the one off that we had the other day, that is correct, but
Okay, because it seemed to me like maybe I was reading the. I apologize, the wrong one, but I guess I am. Okay, sorry. I'll start again.
okay.
The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas Veterans of Foreign War Auxiliary is getting its 100th year of volunteer service to America, and whereas year after year the organization continues to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by maintaining memorials to this and sharing their history with our nation's youth, so that what our nation's veterans have done for America will not be forgotten. And whereas Veterans of Foreign Wars Auxiliary supports the troops currently deployed overseas, and whereas the 470,000 members represent the families of those who have served or are currently on foreign soil protecting our freedom, and whereas members volunteer nearly 1 million hours in Veterans Affairs medical centers and other hospitals throughout this country, and whereas the organization provides awards and scholarships to students based on their expressions of patriotism through art, speech, and volunteerism. And whereas the 2020-2021 National President Sarah Onswetter is rallying VFW auxiliary members behind her theme, honoring our mission to serve veterans. And whereas October 9th, 2020 will be a time to celebrate her visit to Ottawa, Kansas. And now, therefore, the governing body of the city of Ottawa, Kansas does hereby proclaim October 9th, 2020 to be honoring our mission to serve Veterans Day. In honor of National President Sandra Onswetter and all members of the VFW Auxiliary for their outstanding volunteer service to veterans and their families, the city of Ottawa, Kansas, and our great country. Signed this 7th day of October 2020 by our Mayor, Tom Wygon.
Donna, we'd like to give you the floor to speak about your special guest that is coming to the community, and also to talk about this particular proclamation and what you at the VFW are doing here in our community and really nationwide. Donna, I'm going to give you the floor.
Thank you very much. Sandra Onswetter was installed several months back in the middle of at the height of the COVID pandemic. And a lot of her travels have been curtailed because of the different states' rules. So we're very fortunate that she is getting to come to Kansas, but trying to find places to take her to show off our state has proven rather difficult. The Eisenhower Vigil is always held in October, and that's been canceled because of COVID. So we weren't able to do that. But the VFW Auxiliary are the sons, daughters, mothers, fathers, grandparents of a veteran who served on foreign soil. Whereas their eligibility is based on serving in a conflict that was not on United States soil. In this region of the state, our responsibility is to the VA in Leavenworth. And in the past, we have taken the domiciliary veterans, anything they need that is unfortunately not covered with government expenses. A lot of these veterans are suffering from PTSD, alcoholism, just a range of issues that are affecting their quality of life. So they contract, so to speak, or agree to stay probably about 6 months to work through issues and get the help they need. A lot of them come in and their families live out of state and can't, are not able to provide some of the things they need. So that's where the auxiliary steps in. And not just the VFW Auxiliary, there are a lot of veterans organizations that are also helping out at the various medical centers for veterans all over the country. But things like underwear, socks, shoes, clothes, toiletry items. I know that we've had several Christmas parties up there or barbecues with them, and things that we take for granted that they don't get. And I recall one time we were going to have a party and we laid out all of this food, and I asked the staff, can they serve themselves? And they were just thrilled that we would let them do that, because she says they go through a cafeteria and they're served. They don't even, they can say, I don't want that, but they can't determine how much they want or how little they want, where, I just sat there amazed that they couldn't do things that we take for granted every day. But we do a lot of things with our veterans and for our veterans, and the scholarships that we award. There's several different categories. There's art. We've got a new one this year for music. If they've got to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and they can sing it in any genre that they choose to sing it. They cannot change the words. But if they want to rap it or sing it country style or rock style or whatever other style is out there, that's it. And then in November of each year, and I think it's November, the kids that have won the VFW scholarships on a state level all gather in Washington, D.C. And that's quite a sight to see all of these these kids and where their mind is. So sometimes when you think we're in trouble, like every generation thought everybody else was in trouble, those kids really are encouraging. So on behalf of all of us, especially here in Ottawa, we're having dinner for her at the VFW Post here in Ottawa on Friday night. So if it did not get around, any of the commissioners that are able to attend, we would love to have you. Please feel free to bring your spouse.
That is awesome. And you guys are doing great things, Donna. I appreciate you kind of giving us an update, because oftentimes we don't hear about those necessarily things, and it's always good to hear good news.
Yes.
And it sounds like you have a whole bunch of good news to share. And so
Yes.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you very much for this proclamation. We certainly appreciate it.
Yes, we're excited to give it to you. Thank you. So that moves us on to the next item on our agenda, which is item number 11.
This is Acting City Clerk Misty Combs speaking. Proclamation recognizing October 2020 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Domestic Violence Awareness Month focuses attention on victims of domestic violence and their children, and promotes support of shelters and community programs that serve them. Martha Terhart, hope I got that right, Martha, Franklin County Specialist for Willow Domestic Violence Center, will accept this proclamation. And the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 women will be affected by domestic violence. And between 30 to 50% of trans and non-binary individuals will experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime. And whereas the City of Ottawa places the utmost value upon the health and welfare of its citizens, and strives to provide a safer and healthier community. And whereas domestic violence includes verbal, emotional, economic, sexual, and physical abuse, and all forms of abuse carrying long-term physical and mental health implications. And whereas the effects of domestic violence reach far beyond its impacts on survivors and their abusers, causing disruption in community schools, places of work and worship, and neighborhoods. And whereas the efforts of COVID-19 have created dangerous situations for survivors in our community by creating barriers to public service and public spaces. And whereas community engagement and recognition of the cost associated with domestic violence have led to innovative partnerships between local government and health and wellness organizations, which can significantly raise awareness of the public health efforts of domestic violence. And whereas during the month of October 2020, the Willow Domestic Violence Center, working in partnership with local agencies, businesses, organizations, and groups, sponsor and promote Domestic Violence Awareness Month to community-wide attention on survivors and their children, and to promote support of shelters and community programs. Now, therefore, the governing body of the City of Ottawa, Kansas, does hereby proclaim the month of October 2020 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and urges the community to speak out against domestic violence and sexual violence, urges its citizens to support and assist survivors in these heinous crimes, urges community leaders to hold offenders accountable, to make preventative efforts a priority by hosting events, creating policies at school and work, and by supporting and participating in programs designed to reduce and eventually eliminate domestic violence as a societal problem. Signed this the 7th day of October 2020 by our Mayor, Tom Wygand. We would like to yield to Martha and have her discuss with us about this really important month. Martha?
Thank you so much. We are very honored. I am here representing the Willow, and Hannah Sroor is also here in this meeting representing the Willow, and we are very, very honored to be here today, and we're really excited. I think the part of that proclamation that really spoke out to me right now is the community partnerships, how public health can really build a safety net for survivors. And I think I saw that Chief Adam was in this meeting as well, and he and all of law enforcement have been amazing community partners for us and have been willing to work with us and are constantly promoting our services, as well as other community partners within Ottawa and Franklin County. And we're just really honored to be here today. And I think it's especially important to mention that survivors, a lot of people are struggling during COVID, but survivors are especially right now. And all of the danger factors that are associated with domestic violence are increased, especially feelings of isolation and people staying at home, and there's less time to reach out for any safety planning or reaching out to our hotline. And we've been able to adapt in a lot of ways to be able to support survivors in that way, but having community partners also promoting our services and providing those well-rounded methods of support is also very helpful and very encouraging to survivors as well. So we're just really honored to be able to sit in this space with everyone. And we also wanted to share that normally we have Domestic Violence Awareness Month events. And because of the pandemic, we are doing everything virtually this year. So we have a virtual 5K. We have a author, Rachel Louise Snyder, who wrote No Visible Bruises, who's coming to speak, and that will also be an online virtual event. We're working a lot with Ottawa University students, and we have planned an entire week of domestic violence awareness events, including a virtual event where students can be face-to-face with me and Hannah and kind of talk about what their relationships look like right now and what a healthy relationship would look like and what red flags of an unhealthy relationship looks like, but also green flags. And we teach a lot of what a healthy relationship should be and what safety should feel like. So we're just really excited to have all of these opportunities, and it gives us more ways to be face-to-face with any survivors. And yeah, we're just really honored to be here right now. So I appreciate you guys letting us share the space with you.
Martha, thank you so much for sharing information about what's going on with the Willow this month and really all year round. If you would be so kind as to send information to the city about the virtual 5K and about your special speaker, we would be happy to let our citizens know about those important events. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for being here. Both of you. Donna, thank you for being here. Martha, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. That moves us on to item 12 on the agenda.
This is Acting City Clerk Misty Kemp speaking. Request for approval of bid for storm sewer public improvement project at 111 East Keokuk.
This is Sarah Kaler speaking, and staff and engineers recommend approval of the bid from Killow Construction, who was the low bidder on this project. The bid is for an amount not to exceed $230,547.14 and includes a 5% contingency. I believe that we have Michael Hafele, who will be addressing this matter today, along with Casey Colburn, and I believe Casey has those in training too. He has little ones in training too. So I'm glad. I'm not sure which one that is, but I'm glad he's here. I saw them both here earlier. But
This is
Michael,
Oliver.
I'm sorry. You got. Sorry, Casey's got his kids. So tell us about this.
All right, Commissioners, this is Mike Hafele, Public Works Director. This project is replacing the 48-inch galvanized corrugated pipe that is in the ditch along the east side of basically Carstar. We are going to replace those two 48-inch pipes with two 48-inch HP and one 36-inch HP pipes so that we can help carry the water out of there. We will also be doing some dirt work along the ditch on the north end of that pipe opening to help reshape that ditch so that water can flow through there, and do a little bit of natural plantings and some riprap to help hold the ditch linings. Now, the low bid actually came in at $219,568.70. We are asking to approve that bid with a 5% contingency to an amount not to exceed $230,547.14, which is still below the engineer's estimate for the project, which was $230,853.31. The reason for the contingency request is because we have an unknown on this project, which is what the soil conditions are underneath that pipe. Currently, the parking lot is washing out because the pipe is giving way and rotted out. So we have no idea to know what the soil conditions are underneath that pipe. So if we don't put a contingency in there, we'd be coming back probably asking for an amendment and a change order for this project, which we're really confident that we can handle whatever comes up with the 5% contingency. So subject to any questions, that is our request for approval.
Mr. Colburn, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
This is Casey Colburn, Bartlett and West. Not too much to add there. As Mike said, or as it was mentioned, Killow Construction was a low bidder. The bids came in pretty competitively. One thing that kind of set Killow Construction apart from some of it was there is a lot of asphalt, or not a lot, but the recovering of the resurface of the parking lot's asphalt. So this is right in the contractor's wheelhouse. They can self-perform almost all the work. There's a little bit of concrete work on it. But everything else they can self-perform, so it made it be able to be local, made it very competitive for the bids. But we reviewed all the bids. There was no real discrepancies or anything, so we felt comfortable that all the bidders received all the information, received any addendums, and we're all bidding on the same thing.
Thank you, Mr. Colburn. We appreciate that. I want to make sure, Michael, that I heard it correctly. I heard you just say that there were two 48-inch pipes and that you are replacing it with a 48-inch and with a 36-inch. Is there a reason that there's that change being made?
The reason the change is being made is because we wanted to go, excuse me, it's Mike Hafele, Public Works Director. We did not want to go back with a corrugated metal pipe because right now that's a squash pipe. They don't make a squash 48-inch. So we wanted to add a little bit of extra capacity to help get the water out from that ditch and from the north end of town. I do want to add something that I did not mention earlier, commissioners, and that is this project is being funded out of the 2018 GEO bonds that we had we had money left over from the project, from the Ash and 15th Street storm sewer projects. So that is how this project is getting funded.
This is Casey Colbert, Bartlett and West. Commissioner Kaler, or Mayor Kaler, one thing, I think there's only one existing pipe and we're putting 3 back.
Oh.
And it's one, and the pipe is actually, we're putting, the pipe is pretty tall and squashed like Mike said. So we're actually putting 3 pipes back to give it more capacity, but also give more cover over the pipe to keep the strength up. And we're going back with a stronger pipe that should have that has a lot longer lifespan that won't rust out. And that was kind of what we ran into. The pipe is rust out, lost its strength, and the pavement's failing. So we're trying to replace the pipe, but also put together a stronger section and get more cover over the pipe with the rock and asphalt.
This certainly doesn't affect my vote. I just wondered, could anybody address how long that has been there and what is the age of the current pipe?
This Public Works Director, Mike Hafele, I cannot, it was put in when when that building was originally built as a Ford dealership.
Okay.
How far back that dates, I am unsure.
All right. Pardon me. I have, this is Commissioner Kaler speaking. I have dominated the questions. Commissioner Crowley, Commissioner Jorgensen, do you have additional questions?
Mayor Pro Tem Kaler, this is Commissioner Jorgensen. I do have a question. Michael, you used an acronym I'm unfamiliar with, and you call it an HP pipe. What is HP?
Case, this is Public Works Director Mike Hafele, but the best way, Casey can probably explain it better, but the best way I can explain it is it's high density plastic.
Yes, this is Casey Colburn, Bartlett and West. It is a little bit, it's stronger than our typical smooth walled pipe. It has a larger or higher density strength, so it does better with less cover. So for these situations underneath a parking lot that's going to have a lot of traffic, it works great. We actually use the HP on the 15th Street and Ash Street projects as it's just a little bit stronger pipe. It is a little bit more expensive, but the strength that it for the additional price, the strength that outweighs it a lot more. So it's what a lot of cities are going towards for either shallow bury or underneath traffic areas.
Okay, thank you. With that being said, Acting Mayor, I would move that we accept the low bid with Kilo Construction not to exceed $230,547.14 for the public improvement project at 111 East Keokuk.
There's been a
Commissioner
motion.
Crowley.
Is there a second?
Commissioner Crowley will second that.
Great. Is there any discussion among commissioners? If not, we will proceed to vote.
This is Acting City Clerk Misty Kemp speaking. How do you vote, Commissioner Jorgensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Crowley?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Kaler?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Colburn, Mr. Hafele, for participating in this and moving this project forward. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Yes, you too. Next, that moves us to item 13 on the agenda.
Request for approval of beer garden and parking lot of Ottawa Memorial Auditorium during October 17, 2020 event. And this is Acting City Clerk Misty Kim speaking.
Thank you. This is Sarah Kaler speaking. And Misty, you do a much better job at doing that than I ever do. So thank you for doing that. Prairie Paws Animal Shelter has applied to host a beer garden as a part of the Big Time Grain Company outdoor concert on October 17, and this will be a fundraising event. Misty, would you like to address this matter? I know that we do also have Melissa Reed here on with us. I'm just wondering which one of you would like to go first to address this matter.
I'll go first, then I'll let Melissa speak if she wants to say anything further on it. We are requesting approval for this to move forward. We need commission approval on it since it is not inside of the OMA building. It's outside, so it is not exempt from the prohibition of the alcohol sales. And I think that's pretty much all that was said, or that needs to be said, because the description was pretty good. So I'll let Melissa speak on that.
Prairie Paws is just requesting the opportunity to partner with OMA on this fundraiser. We did this back at the Jeremy McCombs concert and was pretty successful. And so as COVID has hit, we definitely are looking for donations and looking at new fundraising opportunities. And so appreciate the partnership with OMA to have the chance to have this fundraising event.
Awesome. Sarah Kaler speaking. Sorry, I always forget to do that. Is there any questions among commissioners regarding this particular request? If not, I would entertain a motion if there is one.
Commissioner Crowley here. I'll make the motion to approve item 13 on our agenda.
Is there a second?
Commissioner Jorgensen seconds the motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the beer garden request in the parking lot at the Ottawa Memorial Auditorium for October 17th for Prairie Paws Animal Shelter. Is there any discussion among commissioners? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote.
This is Acting City Clerk Misty Kim speaking. How do you vote, Commissioner Crowley?
Yes.
Commissioner Jorgensen?
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Kaler?
And I vote yes, motion carries. Thank you. Good luck, Prairie Paws. We're excited for you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes. That moves us on to report by the city manager. City Manager Neinstead, what report do you have for us tonight?
Richard Neinstead, City Manager. I have no report for you tonight.
No report. Okay. That moves us on to report by city commissioners. Commissioner Jorgensen?
I have no report.
And that moves us on to Commissioner Crowley. Commissioner Crowley, what's your report?
I just would like to say I apologize for my tardiness, and other than that, I have no report.
And I don't have any report, although I do want to note that I see that this has been a speedy meeting, regardless of all the bumps that we've had in the road to make that happen. And appreciate those that are participating and been a part of it. I'm going to read the announcements really quick, and then we're going to adjourn for the night. On October 12th, we have our study session via Zoom at 4 p.m. We also have our study session on the 19th of October via Zoom. And on the 21st, we have our regular meeting at 10 a.m. via Zoom. And on the 21st, we also are hosting, we are not hosting, but USD 290 is hosting our joint city-county school board meeting so that we can all catch each other up on what's going on. If there's nothing else to be brought for the City Commission this evening, we will adjourn the meeting.